The governor appealed to residents and families of teachers and pupils abducted to remain calm, assuring that the government and security agencies are fully handling the situation. Governor Makinde disclosed this during a press briefing held at his private residence in Oluyole State, Ibadan.
Briefing journalists on the current situation following the attack allegedly carried out by suspected bandits.
This morning, that one of the teachers, I understand the maths teacher, was killed by the terrorists. We are not taking this lightly. I want to appeal to everybody, citizens, residents, in particular of the local government and the rest of your states. I want to appeal that we're doing everything within our power to ensure that this we resolve quickly and we bring our children back safely.
He further stated that two operatives of the Western Nigeria Security Network, codenamed Amotekun Corps, sustained injuries during the attack and are currently receiving treatment at a hospital.
After the incident, Amotekun, the police, the military, hunters, non-state actors were mobilized to go after the terrorists, and it was along that line that they ran into improvised explosives, and then some of the Amotekun operatives were wounded.
Governor Makinde also revealed that 6 members of the community suspected to have connection with the attack have been arrested and are currently undergoing interrogation as part of the ongoing investigations into the incident.
The information available from the Commissioner of Police, about 6 individuals have been arrested within the locality. Some of them we believe they are perhaps informants or people running logistics for the terrorists, and also 3 individuals of interest have also been arrested by another security outfit within the state. We're putting all of this information together to make some sense out of it. But the bottom line is that if there is no government presence, the people will want to bend them to deal with the terrorists.
While condoling with the families of those who lost their loved ones in the attack, Governor Makinde assured residents that the state government will provide daily updates until the situation is completely brought under control.
1 or 2 briefings should see us out of this situation, but the people have the right to know, what we're doing, and we will try our best, not to reveal any tactical operational trajectory.
Security chiefs and security advisors to the governor were also in attendance at the briefing. Oluyole Sulaiman, BCS News.
The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Wahidi Shuaibu, today disclosed that the Nigerian Army has established new brigades, battalions and operational units across 6 states as parts of efforts to strengthen security operations and improve rapid response to emergent threats nationwide. Shuaibu said the new formations were created to enhance the Army's operational posture, expand military presence in volatile areas, and improve responses to security challenges across the country. The COAS made this known during the opening ceremony of the Chief of Army Staff First Biannual Conference 2026 held in Abuja. According to him, the Army has continued to sustain an enhanced operational posture through troop deployments, restructuring of formations, and establishment of additional joint task force units in strategic locations. He noted that the measures were aimed at improving operational effectiveness, and strengthening the Army's capacity to respond swiftly to security threats across different regions of the country.
Meanwhile, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Wade Shoibu, has announced the deployment of Nigerian Army troops to the Republic of Benin as part of intensified regional security operations aimed at combating terrorism and transnational crimes across West Africa. Shoibu disclosed this today while declaring open the Chief of Army Staff Annual Conference 2026 in Abuja. He said the deployment highlights the Nigerian Army's commitment to strengthening intelligence sharing, strategic partnerships, and coordinated security mechanisms designed to deny criminal and terrorist groups freedom of action within Nigeria and neighboring countries. According to him, the troop deployment to Benin Republic reflects Nigeria's resolve to reinforce regional security architecture and ensure collective responses to emerging threats in the sub-region. He added that the Nigerian Army will continue to strengthen civil-military cooperation efforts aimed at promoting peace, addressing humanitarian needs, and supporting socio-economic development in host communities.
The Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSA, today warned transporters against carrying containers that are not properly secured, saying the practice poses serious danger to road users. The warning comes as the FRSA Kano Sector Command intensifies enforcement through its ongoing special patrol, Operation Guduma, aimed at reducing traffic violations across the state. According to the Corps, vehicles conveying unlatched containers can easily cause accidents or block major highways if the containers fall off while in motion. Officials explained that poorly secured containers not only endanger the lives of drivers and passengers, but also other road users, especially on busy routes. During a monitoring exercise along the Kano-Zaria Road, the Assistant Corps Marshal in charge of Federal Operations, Y.A. Haruna, urged officers to strictly enforce traffic laws while maintaining professionalism. He also called on drivers and transport companies to take responsibility by ensuring that all loads are properly secured before taking off.
The Academic Staff Union of Universities has accused the federal government of failing to fully implement the 2025 federal government ASU agreement, barely 5 months after both parties signed the deal aimed at restoring stability to Nigerian universities. ASU Abuja Zone said, contrary to recent claims by the Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Elausa, that the agreement had been fully implemented, lecturers across federal and state universities were still battling unpaid entitlements, salary shortfalls, pension crisis, and irregular welfare packages. Speaking during a press conference held at Nasarawa State University, Kefi, today, the zonal coordinator of ASU Abuja Zone, Adamu Abdullahi, warned that the government's failure to faithfully implement the agreement could trigger fresh industrial unrest in public universities. The union accused the federal government of abandoning the implementation framework agreed upon during negotiations and allowing universities to apply the agreement selectively.
We'll now take a short commercial break. Please don't go away.
Unstoppable you, feeling your vitality the whole day through. Embrace each challenge.
I am malaria, the king of malaria parasites. My mission is simple: to take over your body, to cause fever, chills, headache. But one thing stands in my way. Come on.
Effective relief from malaria. All on malaria gone. If symptoms persist after 3 days, consult doctor.
You're welcome back. Still on Newscope. The Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors, NARD, has warned of possible industrial disharmony if urgent steps are not taken to address the rising cases of assaults on healthcare workers across the country. The association said the warning follows what it described as a growing pattern of violence, intimidation, and harassment targeting doctors, nurses, and other health personnel in public health facilities nationwide. NARD is demanding the enforcement of strict hospital protection policies across all health institutions, compensation for victims of assaults and destruction of personal property, and the deployment of adequate security architecture in hospitals nationwide. It also called on the federal government to issue an immediate presidential executive order mandating the strict prosecution of anyone who assaults healthcare workers or invades medical facilities. The association warned that failure to meet these demands by the end of its May 2026 Ordinary General Meeting (OGM) would have consequences for industrial relations in the health sector.
This broadcast of Newscope comes to you from the Broadcasting Corporation of Oluyole State, Ibadan. As the world marks World Hypertension Day, attention is once again focused on the growing burden of high blood pressure, a condition widely regarded as a silent killer because of its often undetected symptoms. In this report, our reporter Oluyole examines the significance of the day and the need for greater public awareness.
Hypertension, commonly known as high blood pressure, is a chronic medical condition in which the force of blood against the walls of arteries remains consistently high. Often described as a silent killer because it may not show noticeable symptoms, hypertension is a major risk factor for life-threatening complications such as heart disease, stroke, and kidney failure. The condition remains a major public health concern globally, affecting millions of people across different age groups. Observed annually on May 17, World Hypertension Day serves as a platform to raise awareness about the increasing prevalence of high blood pressure in both developed and developing countries, amid growing concerns over its link to severe health complications. In many communities, poor awareness, late diagnosis, and inadequate management continue to hinder efforts at controlling the condition, making hypertension a major global health challenge. Speaking with BCS News, a consultant physician and cardiologist, Dr. Oluyole, stressed the importance of the Awareness Day, noting that hypertension affects 4 out of every 10 individuals. He explained that the condition is more common among black populations more than white populations and more prevalent in men than women. Dr. Lawal added that despite sustained awareness campaigns, effective control of hypertension remains low due to factors such as stress, poverty, unhealthy lifestyles, smoking, and excessive alcohol consumptions, all of which increase blood pressure and damage blood vessels.
Which is where complications occur now. Complications, dangers that they hurt you. That's it. But if you are lucky to escape the complications that may come, your heart is pumping, so palpitations, dizziness because of lack of blood supply, vision problems. Hypertension destroys the arteries of the eyes. The one which I did 2 years ago, 4 out of every 10 people have high blood pressure. And some of them are not aware. Only 2 of them are aware that they have it. And they are not taking their drugs regularly. And they are not measuring it. So I have to tell them, look, it's taking the then listen to your heart. You should be pain. The heart is being strained. If one has not told them about the risks which they fall, they can continue smoking and drinking, bala, and all these drugs. Powerful drugs which will make your heart, because they want to enjoy life now. They want to be energized to do all the things they want to do, make more money. They're living on the fast lane of life. It's risky if you have high blood pressure. And people, if you are living on the fast lane of life, executives, politicians, students too, for instance, you want to pass your exams now. Take a lot of caffeine, high-powered drugs, and they won't rest and sleep. And they'll be taking a lot of all these harmful substances and harmful diet. It's not good.
Speaking on the management of hypertension, a matron, Mrs. Oluyole, emphasized that effective control largely depends on lifestyle modification. According to her, maintaining a healthy weight, reducing excessive carbohydrate intake, avoiding harmful substances, and engaging in regular physical activities such as walking as essential in preventing and managing the condition. She also stressed the importance of taking prescribed medications regularly, monitoring blood pressure consistently, and keeping scheduled medical appointments.
Having been diagnosed, you take your drug religiously. You don't compromise on that, and you don't ever stop it. If one is not careful, diabetes and hypertension, they go hand in hand. One can easily lead to the other. So you must be master over your condition. Follow every detailed steps you are asked to follow, and don't miss your appointments. Exercise regularly. Eat reasonably. Majority of us, we watch our parents die of hypertension, but we don't learn from whatever consequences led to we still go back to the kitchen and cook the same type of meal that is raising our cholesterol. We don't pay attention. Can you believe that even fasting is a good form of treatment? And by that, you can easily cut down on your carbs. I'm not saying you should lead a fasting life all through, but occasional fasting, you can't rule it out. It will help.
The health experts urge members of the public to take hypertension seriously, describing it as a life-threatening condition, while encouraging regular medical checkups and avoidance of known risk factors. Oluyole, BCOS News.
Drone strikes by Mali's army have killed at least 10 civilians as they prepared to celebrate a wedding in the central region of San, in another escalation of the conflict since armed groups launched a widespread coordinated assault late last month. Foreign desk editor Folashade Akintola compiled the story and others as presented by Khadija Lawal.
The strikes on Sunday occurred during a security crisis after attacks on the military government's positions last month by firefighters from the Al-Qaeda-linked Jamaat Nusrat al-Islam wal-Muslimin (JNIM) and Tuareg separatists known as the Azawad Liberation Front (FLA). The residents of the Tin locality where the strikes took place told the news agency that 10 of our children were killed. What was supposed to be a moment of joy in the village turned into immense sorrow, he said, speaking on condition of anonymity. The strikes targeted a procession of motorbikes following one another, he added. That is certainly what drew the attention of the drones. Mali has been in a critical security situation since JNIM teamed up with rebels in the FLA in April. A deadly offensive on April 25 and 26 targeted strategic towns and killed the country's influential defense minister. Meanwhile, the bodies of 4 Italian divers who went missing during a scuba diving accident in the Maldives last week have been located, officials have confirmed to the press. One body, belonging to a 5th member of the group, had already been located after the incident on Thursday. The Italian nationals were found inside a 60-meter deep cave in Vavu Atoll by a joint team of highly trained Finnish and Maldivian divers, according to local authorities. The body of the first Italian victim is believed to have been located near the entrance of the same cave on Thursday. The incident is believed to be the worst single diving accident in the tiny Indian Ocean nation, a popular tourist destination because of its string of coral islands. 4 of the Italian divers were part of a University of Genoa team, Professor Monica Montefalcone, a daughter, Giorgia Somacal, and researchers Muriel Odenino and Federico Gualtieri. The 5th Italian victim was boat operations manager and diving instructor, Gianluca Benedetti. The group entered the water at Vavu Atoll on Thursday morning and were reported missing when they failed to resurface later on. And lastly, the driver of a freight train involved in a fatal collision with a public bus in Bangkok has tested positive for drugs and been charged with reckless driving, authorities say. The collision, which happened at the Asok Dindeng railway crossing on Saturday afternoon, saw the train crash into a public bus that had come to a stop on the railway tracks. The bus burst into flames, killing 8 people and injuring dozens. Initial reports suggest the bus had become stuck on the tracks due to heavy traffic, which prevented the crossing barriers from lowering properly. The Asok Dindeng railway crossing is notoriously hectic and leads to one of the busiest intersections in Bangkok. Both the bus driver and the guard responsible for lowering the barrier, which is done manually, have also been charged, police said. Authorities have ordered mandatory drug and alcohol tests for all train drivers and railway staff before their shift, said Pichet Konad Amraks, Director General of Thailand's Rail Transport Department. Police did not specify what drugs had been found in the urine test of the train driver. Khadija Lawal, BCOS News.
To end this edition of Newscope, here again are the main points. President Bola Tinubu today assured residents of Oluyole State that security agencies will intensify efforts to rescue victims abducted by gunmen in a senior community, Oluyole local government area of the state, while condemning the reported killing of one of the kidnapped teachers.
The Oyo State Governor, Engineer Seyi Makinde, has confirmed that 7 teachers were abducted during an attack on Community High School, Ahoro Esiele, L.A. Basic School, Ahoro Esiele, and First Baptist Church Nursery and Primary School, Yawota, in Urire local government area of the state.
The Academic Staff Union of Universities has accused the federal government of failing to fully implement the 2025 federal government and ASUU agreement, barely 5 months after both parties signed a deal aimed at restoring stability to Nigerian universities.
On the foreign scene, drone strikes by Mali's army have killed at least 10 civilians as they prepared to celebrate a wedding in the central region of San in another escalation of the conflict since armed groups launched a widespread coordinated assault late last month.
That's all from Newscope Desk for now. It was packaged by Taiwo Adeyemi and delivered by
Josephine Oluwabome. Good evening.
My name is Boluwaji Ogumara. Thanks for listening, and do not forget to tune in for the older version at 8 p.m. Good evening.
Sports and entertainment, we got everything you need and so much more, yeah. 98.5 FM, Oluyole. 98.5 FM. Hear me now, go down to the #1 station. You get even quality information. Brighten up your